Uh, Welcome everybody to this day SAP Sailing Analytics debrief. We had 2 races today, and the first one was a little lighter. The wind picked up and it went south as predicted. So all in all, we had 2 really good races. And some of the boats that did really well in the first race are represented here in the panel. We have Slater from Pandora. We have Terje Wang from Lady Birgit of Hankø, and we have Lars Ingeberg from Wanda. So I think we start this debrief to have some thoughts from the panel. And I think the wisest thing is to ask Terje, because you had the best start at the pin end, and you also were first on the top mark. So was it luck or was it planned?
Well, it was for sure a strong current out there. And in the start, we were just able to pass the mark with the 10 centimeters margin on our lee side. And we stayed on the course all the way to the corner, where we tacked actually at quite the right position. So we were able to point to the windward mark, and the wind was coming in from more south than maybe predicted. So we were able to pick up speed and pointing compared with our competitors on the leeward side. So it was for sure a very nice place to be.
Yeah, it looked very good, and you were also alone at the pin. So there was no other boats there, so you will be able to speed up at the right time.
I think we gained quite a bit after the start, getting the current on our leeward bow, so we could actually point, or the boat moved up in front of the windward or the fleet on our windward side, right side. So we did gain a lot on the not on the first 100 meters, but then we started gaining from the current.
Yeah, I saw also on the tracking, and we were at the pinhead side at the start. So already 1 minute, 1.5 minutes after the start, you had like 10 boat lengths to the next boat. So it looked really good. You, Lars, what was your plan when you, let's say 10 minutes before the start, had you decided which side you wanted to go on?
Yeah, we also evaluated the situation the same way as Terje, and we want to start at the pin end. To be a little bit on the safe side, we have decided to put in a little bit of margin. So actually, Terje, they started all the way down. Then Dan started between us, and then we were on top of Pandora again. And of course, we wanted to go all the way also, but what happened was that first Terje started to move up due to the current pushing up. And then, of course, Pandora did the same thing, pushed us up. And actually, since they hit the current earlier than us, we started to get bad air, and in the end, we were forced to tack out. And that was the reason that why we didn't go all the way to the end, actually. I think it was the same thing with you guys, that in the end you also had to tack out.
Yeah, maybe we can have Dan comment to start as well, if you give the mic to Dan.
Yeah, we had the plan to run. We had the plan. We had the plan to run towards the left. The idea was not to get ourselves trapped on the left-hand side. And once we knew we could clear the rest of the boats from to windward, we actually tacked up and took a hitch up. And I didn't really expect the breeze to go as far south as it did. I thought when we tacked, we were on a heading higher than we had yesterday, and I'm thinking, I don't think it's going to go any further. And these guys to leeward were sort of into leeward, and then I looked over my shoulder again, and they were up another 10 degrees, and it was just a matter of going back and setting ourselves up as close. We wanted to stay bow forward, so we just set up tight to leeward and hoped that it would just lift us all up to the mark, and it did. We're sort of on the low side of the shift and just managed to get into the pressure. But even the boats below us were falling off quite dramatically.
I think we will see at the tracking that, yeah, you guys were at the pin end, you went left, you were on the top boats on the top mark, and all the boats that, when they came down to the gate, they went left, few tacks, up on the top, and you were on the top. So in the first rate, it's obvious it was the left side that was the place to be. And I think we can come back to that when we take a look at the tracking and the stats, because we are breaking these races into numbers and tracking. So I think we start on the tracking because it will show everyone what you guys did right. Can we have the web page? Until we get the web up and running, I think we can talk more about the second beat when you were coming down, because it seems to me that when you were rounding the top mark, it was a normal bearway, one jibe, and you did 3 jibes, but it was one jibe, aiming for the gate, picking the gate where it was less traffic, and then go left. Is that right, Dan?
Yeah, I think in the perfect in the perfect world we would have just gone round the left hand mark and the right hand mark looking down, left hand looking up, and just gone straight. We're pretty convinced it almost became a bit of a broad reach down the run for us. So it was just a matter of getting into that new pressure and we had a shift in course as well, and these guys had the same game plan. So we tacked out, but the currents, I think it was the current or whatever, we just fell straight back into you pretty quick. But by that stage you'd stretched out and it was pretty over. But yeah, it was a bit of a one-way track, to be honest.
Did you check the current out there before racing?
No. Oh, we looked at a couple of marks, but we didn't play. I was just looking at the pressure, to be honest. Thought the wind would have a far bigger effect than the current.
Do you agree on that, Terje?
Yes, in general, I think it was very difficult to decide if you should go for the benefit from the current or the hope for a stronger wind on the west side of the course. So we were a little bit in doubt of what to do, but we took the right decision.
And then I think we go to the tracking. We had a lot of questions about the tracking. It's pretty straightforward. You go to sapsailing.com, and then you got a lot of events. There are not only here, they are tracking, but you click on the event you want, and this is the 8-meter whirls. So you choose that one, and then the first thing you come to is an overview. And there is actually going to be one more tab here. It's going to be a media tab where actually photos and videos can be uploaded. But we have the competitors analytics. It actually shows. See this picture, Dan? Do you have any more comments on the starts? Because I see the lady Birgit of Hankø, she had no one around her, so that was pretty easy. The only thing you had to have in mind was the pin end. But I guess it's pretty important to have a room to leeward to get the boat going.
I think the most important thing in this light air is to keep the boat going fast. And these guys had plenty of space, but only one boat was going to win the pin end. you know, and we've race one of the regatta. Last thing you wanted is a discard in race one, so it was more a case of just getting off the line clean and turning the race into a counter. So that was our plan. Wasn't really wanted to be down the pin end, but didn't have to own it.
Just get out safe.
Yeah.
If we go to the next picture, this is the stats. You can choose whatever you want actually, but these are the one that we have chosen for the start. So the first one is distance to line 5 seconds before the start, and this is in meters. And you have the speed 5 seconds before the start. You have the distance to line when the gun goes off. You have the SOG at start, that means when the gun goes off, and you have the SOG when starting, meaning when you are crossing the starting line. If we go back to the drone, we have Sira she's not very far behind the other two boats, but if you go to the stats, if you go forward, she has very, very low speed. So she are not able to get to the starting line. And you see here, when she is starting, she is 1.5 knots lower than the one that are on top speed. So she is not able to reach the starting line. If you see the distance to the starting line for Lady Birgit of Hankø is the same as Sira, but since she is alone at the pin end and is able to bear off, she got away with it. If you then go to the next slide, we have the upwind. On the bottom here, we have the wind, the speed and direction. So that will always be on the Sailing Analytics. And as you see here, Lars talked about, Terje talked about hitting the corner and one tack. So Lady Birgit of Hankø is the green one. So, and if we break down that also down to stats, she also win the competition of less maneuvers. So you have one maneuver. So this is also it's a combination, because what you want to do is you want to have sailed the shortest distance. Sail the shortest distance means that you are the smartest guy, but you need to have your speed. So you see here that Lady Birgit of Hankø, she was the one that was first on the top mark, and she also is the boat that sailed the shortest distance and less maneuvers. So this is something you can do on your own. You can after this debrief, you can go to the same web page. You can pick what you want and do statistic on your own performance. Terje, do you have any comments on when you see those numbers?
It's just confirming what we thought.
That's good. If we go to the next, this is the downwind. Like I said, it's pretty simple. It's a normal bearway and a jibe at the end, except Wanda, who was you see here, she had a jibe into the middle of the race course. I actually thought when I was looking at it and I was passing you were actually gaining a little there at the moment. So can you tell us more about why you did it and how it went?
Yeah, we gained at the moment, but we didn't in the end. And we actually jibed away. We were all sailing in a line after each other, and we felt we had a wind shift, and we jibed on the wind shift. It was wrong, because where we jibed, it was not so deep, so the current pushing us down was quite minimal. And as you can see of the tracking, that the guys who kept on going, they had a more and more current pushing them down. So when we jibed back, it was clearly that we have lost, I would say, about maybe 100 meters. So we were not happy about that.
Hello. Yeah, I think we need to use. Yeah. Can we go to the next? So this is the leg in numbers. Yeah. Also here we have, you see also you have sailed, Wanda is 150 meter longer sail distance. So if we go to the next one. This is the second upwind. A lot of the boats has to tack more into the middle of the boat in the course, but that's more finding your lane to the left side, I guess. So because of traffic, but it was still the left that paid off. If you take the numbers, still Lady Birgit of Hankø wins the trophy of less maneuvers with 2, and the others. Sira is struggling. She had more maneuvers on all the other legs as well, but she's is moving up on the position. So, and you also see she has a very short distance sailed. So she probably hit some wind shifts better than others. If you take the next one, leg 4. It's normal bear away, and you don't have to jibe, so you jibe one time and then going into the finishing line. I think we also have done this on race 2, but I don't think we can. Those of you that want to have a look at it can stay here afterward, and we can have a go through it together. We will do the same thing tomorrow, so I hope you will join us here at the same time tomorrow. We will have a weather brief also tomorrow at 9:15, so you are more than welcome to join us there. And I would like to thank the panel for showing up. Thank you, guys. And I will also thank you guys for showing up, and I hope that it was that you could pick up something to learn and maybe do better tomorrow. I don't know. So have a nice evening and enjoy.